what are the different advanced token optimization strategies, because of course we need to save the cost, right? We cannot have all of this knowledge and not implement anything. So let's try to understand what are the different ways in which you can save money by optimizing your token count. First is you need to be ruthless. So this is something that Sam Altman always jokes about. So sometimes people will say, ChatGPT, please help me with so and so thing. Or whenever it gives out an answer, they will say, thank you for helping me. It's a very funny thing, but again, who knows? In the future, these things might save us, but there's no need of saying please or thank you kind of things for an LLM, because it's not an actual person. It's just words coming out of a algorithm. It's as simple as that, right? So we need to be ruthless. We don't have to say, as a large language model, you have to help me with so and so this, or please write a summary of the following. You don't have to write all these different nonsense things. You can just ask it upfront, straightforward, ruthless. This is one of the most easiest way you can save number of tokens. Second is effective use of system message. And as I've already explained, if you're doing a lot of begging for just getting the structured outputs, that's a very stupid way of writing a system message. Instead, you need to use the response format. Let's say if you want to uh, get your outputs only in a certain pattern, like the poem example that I've shown you. In that case, instead of putting it in system prompting, you need to put it in your few shot prompting, where you'll pass them as separate user role and content, user assistant and content. In that way, when the window slides, you're no longer paying for the previous examples. But if you write it in the system message itself, then for every single request, those unnecessary examples will definitely take up those costs. So you need to make sure that your system messages are written in a proper way, because every time the window slides, the system instruction will remain the same. So which means if you write a really huge system instructions, for every single request, you will be paying a high amount. So you need to make sure that you write this one very carefully, properly, and with minimal context. Speaking of context, intelligent context management. Uh, for example, you have n number of instructions. You want your AI model to behave in a certain way. You want it to be very, very funny, comedic, and you want it to use emojis. Three things. You can write these three things in 20 different bullet points. The same three things, okay? They're not adding anything new. Only the same three things. They've been rewritten again and again and again in 20 different bullet points to emphasize. That's very bad way of writing it, because system instructions, if you write down them properly, let's take a look at very simple instructions. I'll write it in markdown. Always the user be informed. So it's the same point. I've rewritten it four different times as four different bullet points. Instead of doing all of this nonsense, I can simply write it like this. This is a mandatory thing. That's it. As simple as that. I can just simply write this mandatory heading, and that will clearly indicate that this instruction has to be followed very strictly. I don't have to write the same thing in n number of bullet points, because this will consume a lot of tokens. This will consume less number of tokens. Output quality is going to remain the same. So this is one of the most easiest way in which you can save some amount. So that is token context management. Now, next we have vector embeddings for longer documents. So uh, this is where RAG comes into the picture. So we'll try to explore more about this in the upcoming sessions. But essentially, whenever you have a file, instead of uploading the entire text from the file as it is, you have to find the relevant pieces as per the user question and attach only that piece and send it to the LLM for answering. For example, if I have a resume, my question is, where did this person study? To answer that question, I don't need the skills section. I don't need the name, contact, email section. I don't need the work experience section. I just have to look at the education section. So, if I build a RAG properly, it will take only the education section lines, those 5, 6 lines. It will attach them along with my question and it will send as input. So, we need to make sure that we are not sending unnecessary information in a RAG context to make sure that we are not overutilizing the token count. And compress structured data. So this is also similar to the very first, the second point that I've mentioned. So response format, structured response that we have observed before at the very beginning. Yeah, this one. So let's say if your output, you know that your output is always going to be in this one particular format, then it's always suggestible to restrict it, because let's say if you're asking a question, or I can observe it here also in ChatGPT. If you see here, here are 3 facts about moon. I don't need that line. It's literally useless for me. And would you like me to expand this into 3 fully corrected facts? I didn't even ask it, but it's giving it, which means I'm paying for both of these sentences. I'm paying for the tokens behind both of these, even though I didn't ask for it, even though they are not useful for me, I'm still paying for it. So, in these kind of situations, you need to go for a structured approach where it will give you only what you need. It will not give you acknowledgement, it will not give you these follow up questions and all. It will give you exactly what you need in the structured format. And these are all the different ways in which you can optimize your token count to minimize the cost as much as possible. And I believe this is the longest video so far in the series. In the next one, we are going to cover what exactly is hallucination, which is going to be a very short video, which is essentially a reason to enter into RAG. And finally, we'll cover one more small topic, which is choosing between Azure AI and direct OpenAI versus self-hosted models. Let's try to cover both of these, and then we can jump on to the most interesting one, which is RAG. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.